What's up, Jet Nation? Greenbean here, coming to you from my home studio today. I'm not on the road today, which is a rare occurrence, so I get to sit here and talk to you where I spend most of my time anyway. Whenever you see me on Jet Nation, more times than not, this is exactly where I am. This is where I research the Jets. This is where the magic happens. We can say it that way. Lots of magic happening in here. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit, about our victory last week. Here's the truth. We won. I mean, there's a lot of people having difficulty swallowing that one. I'm not an unrealistic individual. I do know what people have issues with, but the truth is, we won. We beat the Miami Dolphins. A little bit of a nod to Gase beating his former team. We didn't get swept, which would have been worse. I'm not sure if people are necessarily imagining how it would be on the other side of this coin. But the truth is that we beat them. And there were ugly aspects of the game, but there were a lot of positives. And one of the things I wanted to really talk about is Sam Darnold. On the Jet Nation message board, there are really two main factions, and then there's us guys in the middle. But there are two factions, wings, let's call them. There are the people that are, cry, Sam Darnold can do no wrong. Nothing he does is his fault. There's nothing that, any mistakes that he's ever made that boil down to him. And then there's the other side that no matter what Sam Darnold does, they tend to see the negative. There's also a large contingent of people suddenly saying that they would have chosen Lamar Jackson in the 2018 draft. I'd love to be able to have the time to search through the annals of Jet Nation history and see who really wanted Lamar Jackson before Sam Darnold in that draft. Very few people were talking like that, especially in Jets fan. In the Jets fan world, there were the Rosen guys, there was a smattering of the Allen guys, but even Baker Mayfield, but there were very few individuals talking about Lamar Jackson over the top four of that draft. But so there are guys on the board that Sam Darnold could do no right. So on the first side, you have guys like Nico. He's the biggest Sam Darnold fan we have on the board. No matter who's talking anything about Sam Darnold, here comes Nico. He's coming in to save the day, and I love that guy. He's got a very good perspective, but that's the side he's on. We have guys like 14 in green. He's he's trolling a little bit these days, I think. He's poking some ribs, talking about how, all the difficulties Sam Darnold's having and such. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the reality. So we have both of those emotional sides. Some guys didn't want him. Some guys were concerned about his last year at USC. It's all valid. And in the last game, Sam Darnold left quite a bit on the field. He overthrew some receivers. He underthrew some receivers. He flat out missed some receivers. There were the one play with Bilal Powell. It was wide open. The other play, he could have ran for the first down. Instead, he waited too long to throw it to Crowder. By the time he threw it, the route was at the end of the route. The defensive back was able to catch up, and it was a hard pass to catch, and obviously he didn't catch it. So there were mistakes. Let's be real here. Anybody saying otherwise is not looking at it. But here's the other side of that. Sam Darnold was, I think it was 20 for 36 for 270 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 pick. If Sam Darnold were to have those numbers, that's a bad day for him, right? Mediocre, let's say. Let's just land on mediocre, lots of mistakes. If Sam Darnold was to have that type of game for 16 games, he would be the all-time passing leader for the New York Jets with 4,320 yards. Joe Namath, our dude, the number one guy in Jets history, the greatest season he ever had was 4,007 yards. The greatest touchdown season Joe Namath ever had was 26. Sam Darnold, if he had the game he had just this past week, he would have 32 touchdowns. So we have 4,320 yards for 32 touchdowns. And let's even throw the negative on there. If he would have had 32 TDs against 17 picks. Ryan Fitzpatrick, another Jets great, as it turns out. It's laughable, but it's the truth. The most touchdowns he ever had in a season, 31. So Sam Darnold would even best that. He would be our yardage leader and our touchdown leader. in the season where he has games like he did on Sunday. So I find it difficult to see what the issue is here. Now, I can certainly land and understand on he should have had a much better game. Yes, we should have blew him out 42-0. Okay, I'm with it. But the kid, if he plays that way and then leads a fourth quarter comeback to boot, we would have our number one passing leader in the history of our franchise. So I think it's really a good practice to look at things in mathematical terms. Math doesn't lie. It's a weird thing, math. It doesn't agree with my opinions very often. I have emotionally based opinions, and then you bring the math in, and that's bullshit. That doesn't make any sense. But the math doesn't lie. 4,320 yards, 32 touchdowns to 17 picks. Sam Darnold would be a legend if he had games just like the Miami game. So it's real important when we're talking about our quarterback, which this year has been terrible. It's a toilet bowl year. We all know that. The offensive line has been atrocious. Atrocious. I mean, they're playing a little bit better. The Cincinnati game was horrendous, but they've been playing a little bit better than earlier in the season. But this season is a train wreck. The fact that Sam Darnold is having games like this is something we really should be looking at as a positive. The kid's 22 years old, and he's on his second offensive system. We all know the story. But 270 yards, 2 touchdowns against 1 pick is 4,320 yards. 32 touchdowns, 17 picks. He'd be a Jets legend. He'd probably be in our Ring of Honor on that season alone. It doesn't say much about our Jets now, does it? But it's still the truth. Now, one last thing, something that's really hot on JetNation.com right now is the Le'Veon Bell bowling gate. Oh, man, this is a big deal. Now, the thing is, the way Bell handled it was like, look, my family was in town. The doctor told me I couldn't play. I went bowling. We were sitting at home. We went bowling. That was a really calm, easy way to handle it. And then what does Gase do? Gase comes out and says, no, it's not a good look. I'd say it's not, I think is how he said it. So clearly there's a disconnect here. Now, I don't know. I'm not so much a conspiracy theorist, but I am one who acknowledges that conspiracies happen. All right? You don't have to be a theorist to understand that when two people or more get together and create a plan, that is conspiring. That's a conspiracy. So we have to wonder what's really going on in the Jets organization with Le'Veon Bell. I mean, that game against the Bengals where he Le'Veon Bell, that is, got 11 carries, and we had 15 carries overall. To the one game Le'Veon Bell's out this year, Bilal Powell has 19 carries. Ty Montgomery has 8. Robbie Anderson has 1. We were a running monster all of a sudden. So what does that mean? Do we have a coach who just simply game plans for the team that he's playing and just saw this as the best way to go? Or do we have a head coach that is so petty that he would actually do this just to stick it to Bell or to show the league, look how right I am, and stomp his feet in his little way? I don't know. But it's an interesting conversation to have, and I'd like to watch how this goes. I think it's a shame either way. It's really unfortunate that we have one of the most dynamic offensive weapons in the NFL, and either he's toast or we're just not using them right. One of those two things is happening. Either way, it's a shame, and I'm upset about it. But I'm really watching this Gase character. That game against the Bengals rubbed me wrong. I've been trying to support him the whole year. It's getting harder, let me tell you. And then when he comes out and runs Bilal Powell 19 times, more than he's run Le'Veon Bell in any game, I think it is. It's just troubling. It's troubling as to the motivations. Let's say it that way. So, JetNation.com. We're talking about it. You can also check me out at Greenbean, the Jets fan, on Instagram, and check us out on the Jet Nation Instagram. JetNation.com message board, the finest place of all Jets talk in the world. So come on out and join the conversation, And let's watch the Jets destroy the Baltimore Ravens. My wife's a Ravens fan, guys. It's going to be rough in here Thursday night because we're going to kick their ass. 34-17 Jets. You heard it here first. Go Jets.